why do you have so much energy? You have so much energy. I have to move because your energy is transferring to them, and then they have to do something about the energy.
Right, because I've seen her be much more aggressive with him than you. And you're getting better results. I mean, I love Joyce, and I learn a lot from her, but learning a lot from you.
It's just different. I'm a different personality than Miss Joyce.
Yeah.
And I've learned from different people than Miss Joyce, so my techniques are probably a little bit different. So that's how that plays in. And because of the different personalities, I don't like to be aggressive, which was my problem with Barbie, because Barbie needed a lot of phase 4 to say, hey, you're listening to me, I'm the boss.
Yeah, I remember when you were riding her, Joyce going, kick her. I'm thinking, because, yeah, Barbie's very low-key. They need more of a push. He needs down.
You just need someone that will give him the phase 4 he needs, but then stop and let him think about it. Because believing he is a right brain introvert, he can get very emotional, and all that emotion he keeps inside, and then there's just like an explosion.
Exactly.
So he needs time to think about what he's doing and what he did right or wrong and figure it out himself. You can't just finish one thing, stop for a second, then go into another thing, because then he's like, wait a second, what are we doing now? Because I don't think it's the same as what we just did.
You're nailing it on the head, girl. And that's exactly the problem I have had with him. Because I didn't know how to help him.
See, so that he changed direction, but then he was unsure. He was like, am I
But then he calmed down, though. He went, oh, it was just a little bit of a...
And then he looked and shoot. Then he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
Right. This is easy. Yeah. Looks like a changed animal in your hands.
Figures it out.
Exactly.
And then I'll let him stop now because he blew out. So he's like, okay, that wasn't so bad.
Right.
But you can also see how the hind quarter yield works better after his shoulder passes you. Because then he's like, oh, okay, I can feel where the pressure is easier. And another thing you can do, if when you work with him and he starts coming in after you make him stop on the circle, if he faces and starts coming in, just immediately when you ask him to hind quarter yield and he faces you, just make him back up.
Okay.
So that he knows, like, he can't come in every single time.
Right away. Because that's the mistake I make. I let him come in, and then I get frustrated, and then I feel myself frustrated, and
then that's when you need to take a break.
My self-control. But this horse, I'm telling you, the story of him is, I've never, ever, ever in my life bought a horse without riding him first and seeing him live. I've never. Now, I've had 8 horses. Great horses. Every one of them. When I saw the video of him, he just screamed out, "Save me, save me." And so very emotionally, I bought him and she delivered him. And consequently, I'm like, okay, boy, teach me how to help you, which I have to ask you to teach me how to help him.
Normally you can learn the horse, but I think because right now he's at such a low level of not hard for you to learn from him, except for what works and what doesn't. Because, like, putting the pressure in the right spots, or if it's just out of the right spot, you might still not get it.
Right.
Because it's not in the right, very right spot. So then, if you play with where you put the pressure, and what you get the best results from is where you stick with it for a
And
while.
I've actually never had such an emotional horse. He's very, very emotional, as you can see.
Mhm. You could have, all the other horses you could have worked with could have been left brain, because left brain horses tend to not be super emotional. Or they could have just been so well trained or
No, they were not as
super
emotional.
broken
They were,
that they didn't feel anything. Because I don't know what kind of background they would have had, but I know a lot of horses that get stuck in show business or something, if they don't break completely and have a huge meltdown to where people are like, well, you either sell them or they go to a slaughterhouse or something, they're trained not to feel it. You do not feel anything. You just zone out and hope you're doing something right. Because with Rain, that's what she did as her coping. She wouldn't walk out. She did this really tight walk where she didn't move and it was all robotic and she wasn't thinking. So if you asked her to do anything else, she had this huge explosion because she was like, what just happened? How did you do that? Because she wasn't paying attention. So when you put pressure on her, that pressure surprised her a lot and then confused her.
that's what I got here.
He doesn't zone out as much.
Whoa!
He's very attentive. He just doesn't understand the pressure yet. Like, he knows it's there, but he doesn't know what to do about it. So that's why when I asked him to do the change of direction, I just kept the same pressure so that when he figured it out and moved off of it right, it was like, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah, and I saw that. Yeah.
And then it's just going to take repeating that a bunch of times until he gets it and then he gets softer with it and everything. But you also have to know when to stop, because he blew out after he did that change of direction and got all high-headed and worried, like, oh my gosh, was that right? Did I do this right? Or that was so much pressure, and then he blew out because he was like, okay, I did it right, I get it.
Yeah.
So right now would be a point where I'd be like, okay, you're good, you can stop.
Okay.
So it's just little stuff. Work on a little bit at a time with him until you can get to a point where you can find something else or stuff. But right now I'm going to stick with the first 4 games, so friendly game both behind driving and yo-yo and circling, so the first 5. Because he needs to learn the pressure before you can go into the sideways game.
Yeah.
You can play squeeze game with him right now, which is just if you send him between 2 barrels
Yeah, I
or
know what that. Yeah.
between you and the fence.
Yeah.
Just
But
so he,
right, he's got to know the pressure and the
Well,
points and the.
And the squeeze game could help too, because then he can feel, he's like, okay, if you send him between you and the fence, that's a lot of pressure between you and the fence, because the fence is a wall and your energy. So that could help him figure out that, oh, not all pressure or energy means something. But when it's in certain spots or certain places or given in certain ways, it does mean something. Because he has to be comfortable with your energy
That
too.
is so interesting, honey. I've learned so much in this whatever amount of time I really have.
Well, then it's probably a good point for you to stop then too, so you can think about all of it.
I am.
Before we
I'm
overload.
absorbing everything you said, because when I watched him and how I felt you, I'm very emotional. So I felt your emotions, I felt his emotions, and I went, wow, that's why she got him to do that, because she didn't go up, she just was quietly requesting. And until he got, and then when he got it, he calmed right down. I'm like, wow.
Because then the pressure was gone, and he was like, okay, the pressure's gone, that means I did something right.
Yeah.
So then he blew out, and he relaxed, and he was like, okay, this is okay.
Yeah.
So then that's a good place to stop, because he's like, okay, I'm cool now.
And you're how old again?
14.
Ouch.
I'm just at a good age where everything I learned from
You're like a
the
sponge.
clinics and Miss Joyce and Amanda, it all sticks with me.
Yeah, you're like a sponge.
And then I can add from my own experiences and own opinions onto it, and my own interpretation of it,
does because you're describing it very well. And I see the results.
And when you're standing with him here too, like the belly of the rope's on the ground and I'm standing relaxed.
Right.
Like I'm not standing tense or anything.
Right.
Which also helps him to be like, because you saw when I tensed up, he was like, oh crap, what'd she do? What's she gonna ask? So you just have to be relaxed. And then he can be relaxed because you're relaxed and he's like, okay, nothing's wrong, nothing to be worried about or anything like that, because my leader is relaxed and calm and quiet. And then I'll bring him in and give him a cookie because he's being good. And he has been good. Yeah. Yeah. And then a lot of constant reassurance too.
Yeah, he does need that. I know that. I do have to tell him all the time, good boy, and positive things. I do that. You're trying. I know you're a good boy. It's going to be okay. Nothing's going to hurt you.
And the last time I was here, he was circling. And I was an idiot, because I can be an idiot sometimes, and I dropped the rope while he was on the circle, and he doesn't know enough to, like, be okay. I'm still circling.
Yeah.
So, he walked away, and for a few minutes, because what I learned when a horse walks away from you, okay, is the catch me game. You make them move their feet, and they're like, I don't want to move my feet anymore, and come back to you.
Right.
But with him, he doesn't understand that. He's like, I don't have a leader, I don't know what to do, there's pressure on me, but I don't know if I want to move, because he just didn't understand. So I stopped with the pressure and just walked with him, like I was walking with him about 20 feet away as he walked and followed the fence. And then he started turning towards me, so I turned a little bit and waited until we were closer, about 12 feet away, like with the normal 12-foot line. And then I stopped, and when he stopped with me, I was like, okay, he's connected with me again. And I walked forward a little bit just to make sure, and he followed me. I was like, okay, I can pick up the